Hey guys, TJ here from No Place for No Heroes Gaming, and today I'm going to be giving you a quick run through of The Witcher 3. So we're just going to be having a look at what a mission here today. It's actually part of the main story quest, so I have tried cutting out any spoilers, but beware, there may be a few still left in, so let's crack on with it. First impressions on this game are unbelievable in terms of how it looks. It's just a beautiful game, and I do not use that term loosely. Even when you're in the middle of a storm, the trees all blow in the same direction as the wind, and it just makes you feel like that. So brilliant, brilliant in terms of graphics. To find the witch now. Everything else, though, still actually stays up to scratch. I mean, you've got the detail of the game, which is incredible. The world feels alive around you, and you feel like your part in it is as a Witcher, and that is your path. And you know, you go out and get your day's work done, and then that's what the money you get from that is what you've got to live off. But yeah, it does it so well. You don't mind it. It's not the I didn't get to choose to be this, that, or the other. You're happy with the choice made for you. But saying that, there is a lot of choices for you to make in the game. There are plenty, in fact. The game lets you choose what kind of fighting style you want to do, what you want to stick with. There's choices in the game to make, including even choices in what you say. So it's a bit like Dragon Age, Mass Effect kind of thing. You get to choose what you want to say, and that may have a repercussion or not. So the actions you take as well will have an impact. So anyway, let's talk a bit through what I'm actually doing here in the game. I'm actually fighting terribly right now. The combat system is enjoyable, it is fun. Still kind of getting used to it because I'm flicking through a few different games as well, but Witcher 3 is the one I'm playing mainly right now. You do pick it up quite easy. Oh, there's just a slight glitch there. Ivar is good at camouflage, but no matter. A game this big is bound to have some glitches. The game, you can forgive it for these minor glitches. So apart from sucking terribly at the combat system in this game, you do pick it up relatively easy, but saying that, it's not an easy game. I will not lie to you. There are some things you will face in this game which you'll die a lot. You'll die a lot, an awful lot. A werewolf, in fact, I was fighting. I must have had to do it 10 times before I was victorious, and it's just about preparing. It's like Dark Souls, you'll learn from your mistakes in this game. So here we are, part of the mission, and you have to actually use your senses in the game to lead to the next part of the mission. So here I'm searching someone's house to try and find out where they've gone, and at this point I was actually trying to put all the lights out. I thought that might activate something, so not that it did as far as I know. So you put around, use your senses, and it makes you feel quite like you're actually investigating something. Like, to continue, you have to do that. Otherwise it's just, you can't proceed, but you want to do it. It's very interesting. There's some quests, in fact, which it's more optional. You don't have to pursue certain parts of it all, but if you're quite interested, which I have to be on one of them, then yeah, it leads you to other things. So it is worth investigating in this game. So here we are. I found this skull, and oh, this is leading. This is where she disappeared too. So in terms of dialogue in the game, which is, you're going to see this bit now, I've cut quite a bit out of it because I don't want to spoil anything, but you do have discussions which draw you in quite a lot. Some of them are quite lengthy, but if you're interested in the story in this game, you won't mind them. They can be quite funny, and in fact some of them are more intense than others. It's kind of like Game of Thrones, this game. It doesn't hold back. It can be quite gritty at times, but I enjoyed the game. So here we are now, being summoned up these stairs. Let's see what happens next. You never quite know how things are going to go either, because I haven't finished the second game or the first. So this is all kind of new to me, but I'm enjoying it, you know, finding stuff out as you go. And let's see what's happening here now. Oh, there you go. Like I said, this game doesn't hold back. Oh, Gerald's got his perv on. Let's just give him a minute. Anyway, let's continue. So, like I was saying, the game reminds me of Game of Thrones. Then, let's say Dragon Age does. Dragon Age is brilliant, doesn't hold back in certain ways, but I feel this game, as you can see, doesn't hold back in many ways. The violence in the game as well, sometimes it can be quite shocking, but it makes you want to play on. It's nothing, you know, what's going to put you off too much. So, I'm going to skip a bit of the conversations here because, like I said, some of them do drag on a bit, and I want to show you a bit more of the action side of things, and in terms of not just the fighting, but I want to walk through a bit more of the preparation side. You'll notice that you have two options in the bottom left hand side of the screen when it gets more into when I can control them. Oh, there's a little bit of cheeky parking going on there. So, after this, I'm going to show you, explain to you what they are. You get to choose two items which are like in your pocket. So they are what you will be able to take in during combat and walking around. So they'll have like a on the D-pad option. You can quickly go to one or the other. You might have two potions on there. One of them might be health, one might be to boost your attack. You can add oils to your weapons, which will help you fight certain creatures. You have two different swords, one fighting humans and the other one is fighting creatures. So you've got to kind of really prepare. If you know you're going hunting for a werewolf or you know, there's so many creatures in this game, or a griffin, you will prepare differently for each battle you do, which is really in depth. I think it really makes you feel like, oh, you know, it's like Van Helsing kind of badass. You think, you know what, I'm going to go in prepared today, I'm going to take this equipment. And you really do have to, otherwise you will get killed instantly. You know, some battles you will survive unless you prepare. So as you can see here, I've got my crossbow attached, so if I tap the right bumper, I'm playing on the Xbox One, that will fire. You can hold it down and he will aim, so you can like manual aim it. I have two potions, Thunderbolt, which improves my damage I deal out for about 30 seconds, and the other potion I've got actually regenerates my health. So that can be very useful, especially for lengthy boss battles, or, well, I say boss battles, every battle in this game feels quite intense. So, I'm going to just show you a bit of the combat, and I do apologise because I do actually suck at the combat system quite a bit, but I still want to show you it and show you that it can be fun and tricky, so you've got to master it, you've got to be able to know when to roll, what spells to have attached, because every creature will have a weakness. Every creature will have an individual kind of weakness for whether it's an oil or a certain spell you can use. So let's just have a look here after this little bit. So you can swim in the game, which is cool. The fact that, you know, you fall in the water, you don't die. It's not even that tricky really, the swimming mechanism. I mean, I look like I'm kind of derping a bit here, but it's not bad. I'd say I got used to it pretty quick, and I ain't died doing it yet, so it's worth looking underwater as well in this game. The fact that they've put chests underwater and, you know, other things to find gives you a bit more ambition to go swimming. So in this next bit, what we're going to do is try not to die, basically. So like I've told you before, there's all these different things you can use. I'm going to use some potions here. It won't when there we go. So I've just used a Thunderbolt potion. This is ideally going to help me hit them harder if I can get hitting, because these things are quick and they swarm you, as you can see. So I'm trying not to panic too much, but if you can try and single them out, there's a strategy as well as a weakness, but there's a strategy to find your in this game. So the spell I just used came in handy. I don't think it's even what they're weak against, but it's one I like to use for a variety of reasons. And it does come in handy, it kind of stuns them a bit, gives me enough time to kind of come in there. And I love how when you finish them off, it's just like your sword just cuts clean through them. And you'll even notice little wounds appear on you throughout the fight. So if one hits you, you might get like a cut in your face, and by the end, like it's that, you know, like wash off. But it does look good. It makes you feel like, oh, I've just been in a battle, and or even through the battle, you think, oh crap, that thing's just like ripped half my face off. This thing is this is the first time I've ever fought this, and I tell you now, it's annoying. but it's part of the game. You like Dark Souls, you do want to actually fulfill the challenge. So let's just kind of try and figure out here what its pattern is, or way of beating it. So at the moment, if you go for a distance, it throws something at you. So if you're coming close, then it's going to smack you. So you're going to have to find a way to maybe stun it, or range attack, and it gives you plenty to play with. If you've got a crossbow, you don't get loads of different ranged weapons, but it depends how you want to use it. If you find a griffin, you shoot it, might make it crash into the ground and let you attack it. It might stun an enemy briefly if you fire it on a ground target. So it keeps blinding me here now. It's just throwing crap in my face. I'm not appreciating this. The spell I'm using now is Protective Spell. Very, very handy. It'll kind of block against like a powerful attack, or maybe a few smaller in power attacks. So if you put it on now and it hits me, it's not going to do damage to me, but it will destroy the shield. As you can see, a little like gold thing spinning around me, that shows the shield still on. Until now, it's just kind of crap. So now I can be damaged. For the where the health meter is, you'll see like a yellow bar, and it's just recharging now. That is your spell meter, recharging. And I think there's 1 out of 3 of them markers below it. One's red. They are your adrenaline points, I believe. So if you're in the middle of a fight, you'll get some like bonuses per adrenaline point. You can customize everything in terms of perks. So if you want to rely on that, and you want to think, oh, I want to be quite, when I'm in an intense fight, I want my guys' perks to kind of, get more aid. You can put perks on increasing your adrenaline points. So here I've just found her. She's scared of rats. Fair enough. Let's just wipe out. Not exactly the monsters we're used to killing on this game, but it fits in with story. It's quite a comical game at times. You generally feel like a badass as Gerald. You're not actually bothered about the fact that you can't change him as a character. You don't want to. He is very fun to use, and I think I've just dropped a bomb in there. I didn't mean to. Bombs on the game in potions, don't worry so much. If you craft something, you've used some good materials to make it, because when you meditate, you'll gain back your health. And if you've got any alcohol on you, you can use that to craft the potions back and your bombs, so you can keep replenishing them when you meditate, which is really useful, because some of them, finding the components or the ingredients to make stuff can take a while.
I wonder how long ago
like here, I should probably have meditated for a little bit instead of just running in, but instead I'm going to save the game, which is very, very wise to do on this game. Do not go too long without saving, because you'll regret it when you die the hand of a control or just something which it's not very pleasant having to restart. It happened to me before I got mauled by a bear. It wasn't pretty. But here's inventory. So in terms of weapons, I've got a few blues, but this weapon here I like. I know it's smaller damage than the one I've got, but I like it because of the bonuses. So I'm going to attach this Dwarven Axe. So you don't have to just stick with swords on the game, you can actually have different weapons, and some of them look beautiful. Some of the weapons you just think, oh, that's awesome. But they're very realistic at the same time. But well, apart from adding the runes to them, I believe the runes in this game, you get slots on some weapons and you can increase them and add these shiny marks. So when you pull your sword out, you can start glowing red, and it does look good when you do it. So I haven't got much on the game in terms of weapons at the moment. I've sold a bit, but I've built some armour. The green armour there, that's the Witcher armour. And then you get different Witcher equipment in the game, which is very good to have. So yeah, in total I like the game. It's definitely worth getting. It's good if you want a bit of a challenge, but you want a game that looks amazing and in depth, which is so hard to come by nowadays. You either get one or the other. I admit Dragon Age did a good job. They made the game look beautiful, and it was really in depth, and they had a lot in the world to offer. So it can happen, but I think this is a perfect example of a game on the next generation and what we should come to expect. So here we go. It's such a variety of things to fight in this game. Here we're fighting like a wraith, and some of the battles just look really beautiful, and I keep saying intense, but the game genuinely makes you like panic sometimes when you're fighting something. I really hope this has been useful to you guys. Hope to see you again soon. This has been TJ from No Place for No Heroes Gaming.